Namaskar. Welcome to Sattology, debunking mythology. Sattology means science of truth, a study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which means science or study of fake, lie, or imagination. So we will today take up this is a Sunday live show, and we are going to take up the issue of dharmic war versus adharmic war, but mostly focus on adharmic war. So after Mahabharata history, if you look at it, there is not a single day has happened in in on earth where the wars have not taken place. Not a single day. After Mahabharata war, there was a long gap of silence, long gap of peace. It is said that after Mahabharata war, until Mahapadma came, there was peace, and after that the wars again started. Like there was no large wars. मतलब महाभारत युद्ध के बाद महापद्म के समय तक कोई युद्ध हुआ नहीं. महापद्म के समय में पहला लार्ज स्केल युद्ध हुआ जब हम देखते हैं यवनों ने और बाकी लोगों ने आक्रमण किया. यवन, यू ऑल नो, यवन मीन्स came from Greece area. Yavan actually refers to a characteristic. Yavan means people who do not believe in Veda are called Yavana, and people who are by nature like they don't have clean habits, clean living style, that is called Mlecha. Both types of people are there, and generally people who follow Veda properly are generally very clean, and people who follow, like people who take regular bath, they do mantra japa, they do some kind of swadhyaya in their life, they're generally very clean inside and outside. At least you can trust them. So the most of the wars, they are the needless wars, like people the wars uh, in this world have always happened, and for a purpose they have happened. So we cannot say that we can be peaceful. Like generally I hear that, I put in my book Narada book, that how Narad Muni is so strict on Lokpal is Yudhishthir, that he's so strict on him, where he says, are you waging a war for dharma? He says, yes, I do that. Dharma means law. Dharma means which needs to be done. It's an ideal condition of working. It is not a Buddhist term. Like most Americans think that dharma is Buddhism. No, it is not Buddhist term. It is a Vedic term. Dharma, the the I have said in many of my sessions before that according to Veda is dharma. Anything outside of Veda or opposite of Veda is adharma. Very clear definition is there in Bhagavad Puran, Mahabharata, Ramayana. And so you'll see the entire discussion is about dharma. Dharma doesn't mean religion. Dharma means a logical way of action, which requires, which which results in peace, prosperity, and happiness for all. That is dharma. So dharma word can be used by all the people who connect it back to Veda, because there is no existence of dharma outside of the jurisdiction of Veda, and every single knowledge in the world comes from Veda. The basis of all knowledge in the world comes from Veda. Like that's why Veda also means knowledge in English. English is an incomplete language, so there is very little we can explain much in English. But I'm speaking in English because there are many people, many Americans and other countries who are following Dharma, but they don't speak Hindi. Even in India, there are many people who follow Dharma, but they speak Tamil, Kannada, or any other language. And the day I become more proficient in Sanskrit, and you also understand Sanskrit, I'll speak in Sanskrit. But few words I can say. I can say Bhavata Kim. Few words I can say. I can converse basic Sanskrit. So today the topic is what is an adharmic war. So before we get into that, so this will help you analyze what is going on in the world today, because this is wars are going on everywhere. Like terrorism is also a war, and do not think of somebody is trying to, because he is affecting dharma. Dharma means peace, prosperity, happiness. So when anybody for any ideology indulges in hurting people for to promote their cause, or even creating a social disturbance. May not be with weapons, with just with ideas, with words. That is also considered a dharma war. This is yudh, wo bhi yudh hai. Yudh is happening by people producing misinformation, utpat, even people who are using shastra to break down shastra for their with their own narrative to disturb a section of people. That is also called yuddha. That is not considered dharma, that some people are agitating people in, because those kind of agitations ultimately leads to physical violence. So dharma means absolute peace, absolute tranquility, absolute prosperity for everyone, so that they can focus on the ultimate purpose of life. The ultimate purpose is getting out of karma bandhan cycle. Karma bandhan means the bondage of karma. Bondage of karma uh, is called karma bandhan, and the getting out of it is called moksha. And some places Sanskrit is also called nirvana. Nirvana means getting out of. So Buddhism word ism is itself wrong. I'm talking about the original Buddha teachings mentioned in Bhagavad Puran. He uh, he rejected Veda, and therefore he's considered outside the Dharma cycle. But anyway, they use the Sanskrit terms of Veda and for their own purposes. So there is a big, any Americans who are watching it or who will watch it in the future, they need to know very clearly that Dharma is a Vedic concept. It is covered in detail in Ramayana, detailed in Mahabharata, detailed in every single Vedic book or anything which follows Veda, like Darshan Shastra. They follow Veda. There are commentary on Smriti, there are commentaries on Shruti. But one thing is, Shrutis cannot be changed. Like the Shrutis are the four Veda are called as Shruti, and everything else follows their teachings. And histories are recorded that is called Smriti. So coming to the topic today, a lot of wars happening. A lot of people have asked me many questions on this, and before we continue, you need to subscribe, share with your friends, so that more and more people join. Like sometimes I see thousands of people joining to listen to very current topics, and they cannot understand the current topics unless they understand the basis or basics of the issues at hand. How do you understand, how do you know what is the basic issue? That is called nyaya, like 90 90 90 90. So as a follower of Veda, we try to get into the basics, or the, in data we call it data science, or lowest grain of data. And analytics we call lowest grain, getting down to the lowest level of information, the most basic information on which we work. Like in computers, it's called machine level programming, machine language programming, where all the AI is built on machine language programming. So you get down to the basics of zeros and ones, then you start understanding how computer works and other things. Similarly, in Dharma also, we get into the basics to the lowest level where we can go, and then we try to understand the core issue, and then we start building a better story. So that's how you produce effective, you analyze effectively, and you also have, you can take corrective action also if possible. So adharmic war, first of all, war, English word war, Sanskrit word is yudh. Now there is no connection between the two. War is not a translation of yuddha. Yuddha is almost, yuddha and yoga come from the same dhatu. Yuj, yuj dhatu means reconnecting. Reconnecting in a war with an enemy, and reconnecting with the, means again, yuddha is on a dharmic level, to protect the virtues, protect the good life, to protect the peacefulness for spiritually minded people like yogis, sadhaka. Those are the people who are endeavoring, seekers, who are endeavoring to find out truth about themselves and the whole world. That is yudh. So they are against yudh, against themselves, against their mind. Intelligence is also against the physical enemies who are trying to disrupt that. So we see an example of Ramayana where we are fighting against Ravana to uphold the virtues, because when wherever Ravan was ruling, the yogis, the sadhus, the rishis, the muni, all these great thinkers were not able to live their life freely. That is adharma. So that's where the fight against Ravan happened. Same is the fight with the Pandavas in the case of Kauravas happened, because the Kauravas were indirectly affecting the life of those people who matter. Everybody matters the most, but some people matter more because they maintain peace in the society, harmony in the society. And for that, a physical war had to be fought. So people say that people say that times have changed. Actually, today is the period we are living in, Kali Yuga, and there are many beautiful books have come out on that, and you can search it out on Google. Kali Yuga is an age of quarrel and hypocrisy. You know, like it is information is given in Veda. Kritaya Dhyayato Vishnu, Tretaya Mritomake, Dwapari Paricharan, Kalautadhari Kirtana. Solutions are given. Kali Yuga is a place of quarrel and hypocrisy, where for small things which don't are not even important, people are going to fight on it, and that goes on today. That for small things, people create fights, people create terrorism. Terrorism is also war. You know, I'm distinguishing between a war and a yudha. Yudha is for a dharmic purpose, to present a to prepare peace for a largest section of people who are peaceful. And generally 95% of the people in the world, 95% of the people in the world, all of the people, they are looking for peace, prosperity, they're looking stable lives, they're giving a chance for this so that they can practice a higher version of truth for themselves, which is yoga. Practicing yoga, they want to be. So these are basic necessities of every society. It doesn't matter where people live, whether you live in USA or India or any other country, any other continent, whether you live in Africa, we are looking for these basic values: freedom of expression, freedom to choose, freedom to live a life according to your terms, according to our terms, and freedom for choosing a path of happiness. These are all the basic virtues. This is called dharma, basic, common to all. There is no mother and father in the whole world which will feel bad for their children. That is not possible. They all want good for their children. There can be exceptions, but those are mentally crazy cases. But generally, 99.99% of the parents would want to have good future for their children. So that is dharma. Core, absolutely core. 99.99% people of the world want happiness. That's dharma. Core, at the core, basic. And there will be people who are looking for prosperity, 99% of the people. That is core dharma. 99.99% of the people would like to have a society where they can move freely without any fear. That is dharma. Any part of the world, whether you're in Africa or Australia or India or any other country, even Pakistan and other countries. But what is the reality we see in the world? That is dharma. What is the reality? Violence everywhere. That is the nature of this age, Kali Yuga. So if something is peaceful, that means you think there's something wrong with the current times. You know, people nowadays say, "Oh no, we have advanced so much." No, but where is the mental peace? We don't see mental peace anywhere. We are seeing the education system is training us to be ambitious, going beyond our actual capabilities, and people struggle so much, but they cannot get it because they're still not being taught as per dharma. There are few things which there is a limit to, due to our past karma and due to our past activities or due to our education. There is some limitation all of us have. Everybody wants to be rich. The desire is there. Everyone wants to be some, and advertisers throw you statistics. Oh, look at his life. He's flying in a plane, he's going jets, he's got weights of cash in his hand, bags of cash. And everywhere, this they're throwing, movies are showing up ideal life of a husband and wife. That is an advertisement. What is the reality is something else. So for 1 hour, if you're sitting a movie 2 hours, then you suddenly forget that what is your actual life. So they have sold you something according to themselves. Somebody has sold you, and you little bit get lost, and it creates desires, and then you struggle against these desires to achieve that lifestyle, that level of comfort. But not everybody attains it. Everybody, there are so many people. I live in San Diego. There's so many people, educated people. I've heard that Nobel laureates, they're living on a boat. They don't have a house, and even though they're highly educated, why? One question, I'm going to make a series on homeless people, and I'll ask this question, one question only. I'm going to ask everybody that why you are here, what happened. You have all the capability, you are educated, you had money, and now you're again living a homeless life. But why? The common answer, you'll be shocked to know what will happen, because I know the answer, but you'll see, you'll be shocked to know in that series. We'll do that sometime in future. But point is, everything that you want is sometimes propagated on your head, that this is what you want. This is what they shape your desires through marketing campaigns, through social, like there is a festival about Halloween happened just now in the US, and I don't know why India celebrated it. I have no idea why South Americans were celebrating it. Halloween is a Native American festival to celebrate the Day of Dead, which means it is a Native American, it coincides with the Shraddha period also, to honor the Pitra or the ancestors. But it is completely deformed. Only in the pure form it exists in India. Like if you go to Gaya in India, there a proper method of respecting the Pitra is mentioned over. It's practiced over there, not just mentioned, practiced over there. But rest of the world is also following a similar, but completely cut off, because it is cut off from the original. So they're celebrating a Day of the Dead. That means they believe in afterlife. There many things come, many messages come out of it. Many messages come out of it. So the point is, as you grow further from the seat of dharma, you get into adharma gradually. And that is happening with the war. Like I explained you, the difference between a yudh and a war. Yudh is always fought to protect dharma. Dharma means core essential values which everybody desires: peace, prosperity, happiness, and stable lifestyles, a freedom to choose your employment, freedom to choose your education, freedom to choose your happiness, freedom to choose your liberties. Nobody's infringing on them, whether it's a man, woman, or a child. Everyone has it. Even animals have rights. Like I was joking with some of my friends that why cows are killed for food. They are also American citizens. They should be protected as much as anyone else is. But the gross adharmic attitude is, no, they are food for us. Very few people know that cow is the most useful animal on the planet. But if you kill for food, then you are engaging in something, is an act of ingratitude, where the cow has given you milk and yogurt and butter and ghee, and we kill them, which is an act of ingratitude. So we'll go to Bhagavad Gita and understand the core reasons for adharmic war, and you'll be shocked to know, and everybody will agree with me. Core reasons for an adharmic war. Like I said, dharma means virtues. We'll talk about dharmic war later on. We'll just talk about adharmic war first, because that is the one which is the biggest problem today. And terrorism, or like terrorism means that you force people, like whether it's intellectual terrorism through media, whether it is through physical harm, or whether it's through any kind of subjugation by any means, including colonization. These are all terrorisms. So in the past, a lot of terrorism has happened, like the Islamic attacks on Afghanistan, Parsi land, which is Persia, old Persia. Those are all adharmic. Those are all done to destroy a particular native way of living. So whenever you disturb the original way of life, that is adharmic. And there are punishments for that. But because it's Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga means people who follow adharma, they appear to be powerful temporarily. Ultimately, they are all defeated. All of them are defeated. There is no Islamic empire now, and there is no Roman empire now, there is no Greek empire now, there is no British empire now, and there will not be any other hegemonic empire also. So whether China is planning anything or USA is planning anything, it's not going to happen, because all of them are based on adharma. You know. So what is an adharma? What are the basic qualities? So basic qualities are damba. Damba means pretending to be bigger than yourself, what you are. You know? There's a very famous saying by one of the American presidents. He said the Americans should look bigger than others. They should be more taller than others, and therefore everyone will be impressed with the Americans. That was the whole point. Was that most of the Americans, European Americans, I'm talking about people, because the original Americans are brown skin, like natives. They're the original Americans. So there are European settlers who came, who occupied their land. So those are European Americans because they are settler Americans. And then there are later on immigrants came, and the immigrants came based on the authorization by the settler Americans, because they used immigrants to increase their prosperity. And then there are Native Americans, and you all know the history I've recorded in my book Gold, Glory, and God, that how in 1924 the American Constitution gave American citizenship to Native Americans. That happened in 1924. So I come to your home and I occupy your home, and then I give you a certificate. Okay, you can live in that room. And they made reservations all over the country. You can see a lot of reservations in USA where they pushed the Native Americans to live over there. So you live over there in that section, don't have to come out. And those places were they had no water in those places, mostly rocks, no place to grow food. And they also authorized them to build casinos over there, so that further their culture is destroyed by corruption, because everyone else will come and play gambling over there, and later on the local culture is going to get affected. So all those things happen. What are the qualities of adharma? Number one, people who create adharmic war, means which destroys the prosperity for a maximum group of people, a maximum group of the maximum group of prosperity for maximum group of people, destroy the local culture. These are all adharmic war. In any, like, we cannot tolerate such wars. We should not tolerate, because if we tolerate, we become adharmic also. So there is no need to tolerate such kind of actions against dharma. Dharma, I already said what it means. See, people who do not joining new can rewind, and they can watch the original definitions. Damba, qualities, means boastfulness, bigger than you, better than you. Darpa means I'm greater, like the whole colonization was based on darpa, that false pride, that we are a superior race because we have white skin, and we are going to colonize you because you're not as good looking as us. Well, beauty is relative. There are many people in Africa who consider the people from Europe as sick because they're too prone to diseases, because they don't have healthy bodies. They can only live in a cold weather or ideal weather. Even that is not true, because most of the Spaniards and European Portuguese who came to South America brought diseases with them, so very prone to disease life. So that darpa, false pride. Abhiman means that I deserve more respect than you. These are the core reasons for adharmic war. When I say about common reasons, you can apply these definitions universally. You will not go wrong. So when you identify these qualities, which is damba, darpa, abhiman. Abhiman means I deserve more respect than you. That is abhiman. Abhiman means more deserving. Krodha. Krodha, we all know, they're always angry, always angry. You see the colonial history, you see the Islamic history, always angry. And the most funny thing is, today, Krodh is considered a virtue. Like if somebody is angry and people say, oh, इनको बहुत गुस्सा आता है. That is a mental disease actually. Krodha. Gradually you give up as you grow more mature. You start getting saner day by day. Krodha. Parushyam. Parushyam means deed. In Hindi they call it deed. Means stubbornness, obstinacy in English. Parushya. And these are the main qualities which create wars everywhere. Now that's why I said keep an open mind. Apply the definitions to understand who is adharmic. Don't judge them from outside, because if you judge from outside you will make an unintelligent decision. You will not be able to analyze the situations properly. So what I'm teaching you is a core science in which through which you can make intelligent decisions without getting into the false propaganda on the media, any kind of media. So nowadays, I was asking somebody today morning, they said intellectuals have said it. I asked them, who is an intellectual? So because somebody has given a title to intellectual to someone doesn't mean he's an intellectual. Again, you have to use nyaya, niti, logic, reasoning. Then you can understand that person is an intellectual. So these definitions make you exactly think who we have to see. It can be anybody, any name. Can be Michael, can be any Islamic name, Ahmad, whatever it is, or can be any Hindu name also, or it can be any Buddhist name also. Can, like, we go by the definitions. That's called intelligence. We go by the definitions. So what are the qualities people who create these kind of situations? They all have damba, boastful nature; darpa, false pride, that I'm better than you; number three, abhiman, they think they deserve respect from everyone, and they'll go to any extent to get that respect. Okay. Krodha, they're angry on themselves or get angry easily on others because other desires are not fulfilled. And number five, obstinate, they are fixed up in their roots. Now, when all these five qualities are present together in a nation, in a maximum group of people, then that, or politicians, then that nation acquires that character, or community acquires that character. And then that nation or community behaves accordingly. So use our logical reasoning to understand that we do not judge people based on appearances. We don't judge based on where they come from. We judge people on the basis of their actions and attitudes, inclinations. Then you start analyzing things properly. Otherwise you will make the same mistake which we are trying to solve through dharma. We will make the same mistake of judging people, and you start looking at qualities, and then you have a rational viewpoint. Dharma is always rational. Dharma is always logical. Dharma is always reasonable. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is a science, because it is based on symptoms and core reasons. Okay, so when you want to think, and let me tell you, the best wars or the strongest wars and the victory is always of the dharmic people. Sometimes it is late, but it is there, because they are working through logic and reasoning. They don't work through emotions, because emotions can misguide you, because if your mind is not controlled, then emotions will take you in the wrong direction. So we analyze things based on a particular methodology. So these are the characteristics of people who create adharmic war everywhere. Everywhere. This is Kali Yuga. These are the majority of people today. Because the knowledge of dharma has gone down, people who actually follow dharma don't teach others how to analyze things, how to look into the perspectives, how to get into the nitty gritty of things. And when such people who do not understand these basic values write analytical articles in newspapers, what results in utpat? Most of the analysts, they're just analyzing superficially, not getting into core reasons. Nobody wants to get into core reasons, because then their real motivations will come out. And most of the analysts are paid. They're paid to write reports. They're paid to talk. They're paid to which is they're doing a dharma to their own professions, because they have not understood what on what grounds they can judge anyone. And we are here saying that there are common qualities, common qualities on which you judge who can create an adharmic war. And once you identify a problem, then you can act on it. If you don't identify a problem, you can't act on it. So damba, these are the people who create adharmic wars, are people who are filled with damba, darpa, false boastful nature, pride, false pride, abhiman, thinking too high of self or expecting more honor than others. That is abhiman. Krodha, who are prone to get angry, and parusham, who are obstinate. Now, what is the source of these five qualities? Again, the source of these five qualities is agyana. Agyana means lack of knowledge, or agyana also means lack of Vedic knowledge from Veda, because that's where you start to make mistakes over there. Agyana. And these are the qualities found in the people born with the Asuric nature. Asuric nature. You know, Asuric nature means those who are out of the mainstream. They are called Asura. Sura means in the mainstream. It's a musical term also. And musical term Sura means, we say Suratal. Somebody goes out of the mainstream music they're composing. They besur bolte hain kabhi kabhi. And but in Sura means in line with the Vedic process, and Asura means with out of the line of the Vedic process. Okay. So and so the now, what is the outcome of this? The outcome is that if you are out of line with the mainstream Vedic process, then you don't get freedom from karma bandhana. But if you're in line with the Vedic process, you get freedom from karma bandhan. Karma bandhan means prisoners of karma, or prisoners of three modes of nature, three gun, prakriti ke niyamon ke andar. That is karma bandhan. Now, the the number one quality when you look at the adharmic war. So these are the people who create adharmic war. So it will be for selfish reasons, for to prove their right. Number one, five reasons for creating adharmic war. For prove that they're right. If you look at all the conflicts in the world, somebody is saying most of the time these wars have originated from Shakaldweep, which is Europe today. Because boastful nature, they want to claim they're better. Europe has not discovered anything. They have only used the information and said this is ours. Okay, boastful nature. Middle East has created many wars against themselves, against others, and most of the territories have been other territories, like the Middle East Islamic war against Africa in the beginning of the Islamic world was hit very bad, because they attacked people because they thought they were not looking as good as themselves. Same happened with the Christian wars, which happened, which is very adharmic, because boastful nature. We are better. We are there to civilize you. False pride. So damba, darpa, false pride. Abhiman, thinking that we deserve the honor more than you. So the idea became, I have seen, my God's version is higher. That's how all the wars have happened. Colonization has happened. That my God is superior. Adharmic, Asuric. These are all Asuric. You know, Krodha, which anger, we all know that how anger has played a role in destruction of so much of Egyptian history, which was Vedic history. Sumerian history was all Vedic history. Babylonian history, Mesopotamian history, many deep connections with Vedic history. But in their pride, they disconnected it. No, it is coming from here. And the academics have played with them, because they are also part of the same network. Majority of academics, they are fearful of losing their jobs. If they speak outside of the line, they lose their job. So you don't see real intellectualism in the universities also today. There is no real thought process. There is no reality. So most of the people, they go to get a degree. That degree doesn't get them any knowledge, but it is good to get a job, because It is certifies that that this guy belongs to my education system. You can give him a job, and if you go out of line, you're thrown out. You work anywhere you want. No? So because there's no dharma, it's just a basis of adharmic culture. Then obstinacy, because even if a logic is presented out, proper logic if I give that this is the solution, this is the solution, they won't accept it, because obstinacy, because I'm right. I have done a PhD, I have done this, I've done a doctorate, I postdoctorate, because obstinacy. And the main at the background is, if I step out of the line, I lose my job. It's all about the money. So they want to be obstinate because they have no qualification, no real knowledge. They have crammed the books which was the propaganda in the first place. Now these are the people create future wars, because when there is a disturbance in the society, it ultimately results in physical violence, and that physical violence helps in furthering the cause which they were doing, because it's a vicious cycle. You create a war, you supply weapons, and then you go to make peace, supply more weapons, but somebody is making money all the time. It is the biggest killing industry in the world in the name of civilization. Like what happened to the South Americans, or colonization of India through trade. India was never colonized in the first place. Wrong information taught in Americans, because British, they always ruled in cooperation with Indians, so the Hindu culture was intact. The fake colonization, the British government ruling, there's no British government ruling. It was the Indian government ruling. Indians were ruling on Indians with the mindset of the British. Again, corruption over there. You can see that. So the whole ecosystem is working on adharma. So what happens now when you analyze from this way? Now you can question all the wars. Now you can analyze the five principles, five topics. Are you fighting to prove yourself right, or to prove that you're right? Damba, darpa, you are false pride, you think you're superior. Abhiman, you fighting for your pride, fighting due to anger for some reason, for no to destroy others' peaceful lives, or jealousy. Like some people are jealous, that's why these people are more prosperous than others. And obstinacy. Five main causes of adharmic war. Now you know, you can analyze all the wars in the world on these five parameters. You will know majority of the wars in Kali Yuga are adharmic. No war is for protecting virtue. No war is protecting peace. No war is protecting. And you have to go to the core reason. What are the origins of war? Because the disturbance is created in the mind. And once the disturbance is created in the mind, then eventually it is led to foster. Nobody makes peace, nobody makes corrective actions because they don't want it. They are on a self-destructive path. That is called asura, out of line. They are on a self-destructive path. They will create a war for the future in which they themselves will be destroyed, but they will do it. Because why? Brings to the second qualities. You know, so the most of these Asuric people, people who do not follow the line of the Vedic thought process, they do not know pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti means what, how to act properly, and nivritti means how not to act properly. In a contextual, I'm saying. And they do not know uh, what is the purity, and they do not know good behavior, and they do not follow the truth. Because these are the five were the main causes. Now these are the five secondary causes. Okay, pravritti, nivritti, shocham, achar, satya. Yeah? Pravritti, nivritti, shocha, achar, satya. So five main causes, five secondary causes, secondary symptoms. Now 10 qualities total. Let me tell you, if you put these 10 parameters on any political situation in the world today, you'll find that all wars today are adharmic. War also means terrorism, intellectual terrorism, ideological terrorism, All those are wars. You know, don't think of war as just going on tanks is the war. No, people are fighting through ideas. People are fighting uh, through mispropaganda, through mistranslation of Shastra, or just purely outright lies. Yeah? That's why I said no truth, no good behavior. There's no good behavior. Like people think that if I save my family and destroy somebody else's family, that is good. He's fighting for his family. What if the other person also protects his family? No, you are bad. I'm on the right path. Again, dam and darpa comes in. You know, so my family is better than yours, and my family needs to be protected, not yours. I can bomb you because I think I can do that. Damba, darpa, biman. Again. So you will not miss out. In these 10 qualities, you will not miss out anything. 5 principal, 5 secondary. You'll know every single war in Kali today is adharmic. Every single war. Okay. And and then people rejoice it because everybody is making money. That's why Kali Yuga is called the age of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy everywhere. If you find truth somewhere, be very thankful that yes, somebody is honest here. Very rarely we will find, but majority of people still expect truth, but they themselves don't follow it. So again, hypocrisy. They want them to be treated respectfully, but they don't treat others with respect. Again, hypocrisy. So 5 principle, 5 minor. That's how you, if you apply these 10 situations on anyone, then you know what is an adharmic war. Okay, so I'll stop here and I'll take questions. I want to keep my presentations to the time limit, and I'll take a lot of questions have come, comments have come. I'll take one by one. Please become a member on our channel. Like member means that you become a member means you actually pay to become a subscriber. That's how we want to propagate. We want to hire more people now, Sattology, all over the world for Ramayana Mahabharat, and also subscribe to the channel. Share channel with maximum people. Our subscriber base is very low as complained by many people. I don't. I can speak to a wall also, but if there's support there, it is very good, helpful for us. I'll take some questions and I'll encourage people who are becoming members. They should do the course. We have 12x debunking mythology course and we have 12x yoga teachers training course, which we have started, and many good teachers are teaching it. Plus, you can join our daily Japa conference is happening in the US. You can join that. There's daily Bhagavatam Katha, daily Bhagavad Gita Katha, which is going on for 17 years, supported by us. We organize it. So I'll take some questions, and some new people are there. And if you're a member and you ask questions, it will be very good. Support us live on this show. So we have. I don't see any question there anywhere. There's one question here. Karma Bandhan. Ashes is asking. Please write your real names because I don't understand what you mean by the ashes. So anyway, Karma Bandhan I already explained is a bondage of karma, and which is Karma Bandhan. Uh, so it is Ravi Sangvi saying most of the war initiated by use of Dharmic wars. I said yes. Analyze those 10 qualities. You will know what is Adharmic war, and then you will understand the 10 qualities for identifying Adharmic war. You know? And there are very few questions here. I'll take one more. Yavan is equal to Pakandi. Yavan is Anadi Anar. Yavan means people who do not believe in Vedic wisdom. That is Yavana. Basic definition is this. Okay, it is not a race. It is not region specific. It can be anywhere. Yavan can be anywhere. Those who don't believe in Vedic wisdom, that is Yavana. And Mlecha means not only they don't believe in it, but they are also dirty. Yavana can be very clean also sometimes, very clean. So, but they don't believe in Yavana because they don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Okay. So, Sanatan Dharma is equal to Tibetan. Okay, I don't see many questions here, but anyway, thank you all for joining, and do share, subscribe, and like our videos so that we can publish more such content and become and aware, make people aware and use these basic definitions to come. If you analyze the way of these 10 qualities, you will never go wrong. And solution is what? Dharmic people should fight for dharma, and they should, like Pandavas, made a bigger army than Kauravas because they were fighting adharma. Bhagwan Ram made a bigger army than Ravan's army because they were fighting adharma. So dharmic people have to come together who follow the Vedic wisdom and create a stronger armies and stronger forces to protect it, including ecosystem of teachers and universities. Nowadays, anyone who takes affiliation from the Western universities is actually falls into adharma. So we have to completely disconnect from that because dharma and adharma cannot go together. You cannot say a little bit balance is needed. No, there's no balance needed between adharma and dharma. You have to be either dharmic or adharmic. It's black and white. You can be either sura or you can be asura. Dvaya prakriti Bhagavan Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita. I read from Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter. So these are the qualities mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So you have to be very clear. You cannot have balance between the two. Any balance between the two is going to lead to disaster for both of them. More to dharma than to adharma. Dharma is going to flourish there. Okay, so we don't have to keep balance everywhere. There is no balance between dharma and adharma. Dharma is always heavier, but Kali Yuga adharma becomes heavier, and that's why the dharmic population has to get stronger in every way, ideologically, politically, militarily, and even the small incidents of terrorism. So the terrorism is also war. You know, it's adharmic. So we have to use the Yudha against terrorism also. So there is no compromise. The moment you compromise, you are dharmic. Okay, so there are a lot of questions here, comments here. I don't see any questions. Hasmukh Chauhan is saying, so please keep supporting Sattology and become a member on YouTube as well as on Patreon, patreon.com/Sattology is scribing over there, so you can check it out. What is important of home havan? Do they have any benefit? Of course they have benefit. Purifies the air in your house, and also the mantra ucharan brings good vibrations. Okay. Abhishek Gupta's question is, Markandeya Puran says is 1 crore. Okay, you need to consult those and bring a proper reference, and then we can answer these questions. Or you can watch our other videos in Nilesh and Vedvir Arya and many other scholars have done videos. You can do that and come up with your own calculation. Mati's Garden, thank you. Happy this thing. And the okay, so I don't see any more questions here. We will end the show, uh, and then we'll talk later. Anuradha saying, in Sanskrit, I think Yavana Desh is Greek. No, no, no. Yavana, Mlecha are by qualities. Okay? So, like I said before, wherever those qualities are found in maximum, that is the Yavan Desh. Now, I read you the qualities of Asura. Dhamma, Darpa, Abhimanascha. You read that Abhiman, Dhamma, Darpa, Abhiman. And so you know where the qualities are. And so now you know, based on those qualities, you can decide. Krodha, Parushya, Dhamma, Darpa, Abhiman, Krodha, Parushya. Wherever those groups are maximum, that is Asura or Yavana. Asur is a bigger category. Yavana is a bigger category. Mlecha is a small category. Okay. All right. So don't go by putting that only Greeks are Yavana. No. There are people over there, qualities you go by. Angad Sai is asking, so do become a member. So next time we'll have more questions by the members of our YouTube channel or Patreon. Aditya ji, Malich ka matlab kya tha? Malich means dirty. People who are not clean, just clean, not clean physically. That is simple meaning of Malich. Okay. Yeah. In the Mathis, Yavana, the fair one, Lester is like an ascended person. Mati's garden is writing Yavana actually. No. Yavana means people who do not follow the Vedic wisdom. It can be anyone. And they're also dirty also. There's no cleanliness in them. They don't know, they're confused. Okay, so those qualities exist. And like I said, Veda doesn't say that this region is full of them. Vedas can say, okay, a lot of people live over there. So the majority characteristic of the land becomes like that. But they don't condemn the region. It can change. So every part of the earth was before dharmic and then became adharmic, asuric. So there's a fight between adharma dharma is always going on. So when the dharmic people are strong, it brings peace, prosperity, happiness to everywhere. And we also want America also dharmic people more should come in the power. They should become professors so that they can bring that peace and bigger wisdom to the society. I'll stop here. I'm getting on the top of the hour. But thank you for all your questions. Do support us, do join us, become a member on YouTube and Patreon, and become part of our Sattology family. And if you are very serious about taking this knowledge, then join our formal course, 12x Debunking Mythology course, and also the 12x Yoga Teachers course. Uh, this is a topic for a different discussion, Shall Dishaji, but I'll take different things. Parameshwar means Param Ishwar, okay, which is residing everywhere. Ishwar means refers to Vishnu because he's a controller of everyone. Sometimes a human is also Ishwar because it just means a controller. Parameshwar means Bhagwan, Paramatma, because he controls everyone else. Bhagwan is a person, means Parashar Muni explains to have 6 opulences. I've covered in my book in detail. Devta is people who follow Paramatma, follow Vishnu. They're called Devta. Daiva means the power of Devta is called Daiva. And Bhuta means everything that you see around you is Bhuta. Okay? Thank you and very much. I will stop here because again, so do support us, become a member, join our courses, join our Telegram channel. We have Sattology course. You can search Sattology course channel. You can join there, subscribe, share our videos because we purely go by the Shastra. Thank you and namaste. Sometimes we may not understand it, so therefore we have so many experts speaking on our show, and I speak less in all those shows. Namaste. I will